Welcome back to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we're honored to be with Jeremy Wooldridge. He is the CEO of Crowley's Ridge Development Council. He's also an Arkansas state representative. We'll talk all about that with the service. But how are you doing, Jeremy?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Jeremy.
Well, let's dive in. So, long legacy in terms of service, obviously for you, for Crowley's Ridge Development Council, a lot of services that we'll dive into deeply, but give us a little bit of history and perspective for the organization.
Absolutely. So Crowley's Ridge Development Council, as you know, was developed in the legislation in the 1960s of the war on poverty, basically. So our task is to move that needle, that poverty needle, and help people become self-sufficient and kind of that best version of themselves. And that's what we try to do every day in the 8 counties that we serve. Crowley's Ridge Development Council has a long history here in Northeast Arkansas of serving others. I think the organization has been around since 1967. And over the leadership of several executive directors over the last, half a century. And I'm thankful to have the opportunity to serve and to lead this organization.
Go ahead and dive in. Let's have some fun with all the different services that you do to highlight them and the impact. Let's start with family development and the work you do with the families, because there's a lot there. So go ahead and start unpacking. You're working with the families.
Absolutely. So, just kind of to list and highlight the services, Crowley's Ridge Development Council and really community action in itself is a unique set of circumstances, because all agencies, while there are 13 other community action agencies in the state of Arkansas, we all do various different things. The thing I appreciate about community action is we tailor it to the needs of our specific service areas. So we do every 3 years what is called a community needs assessment. We're actually in the process of doing that now. If you can visit, our Crowley's Ridge Development Council, our website, or you can go to our Facebook page and you can participate if you live in our core 8 counties with that needs assessment. And basically that is kind of what we use to steer the ship over the course of that next 3 to 5 years. So we're made up of a board of directors, our county judges from each of our counties, and then we have a low income representative and a private citizen representative also. That make up our board. But what we try to do, and what I've specifically tried to do since I have been at Crowley's Ridge Development Council over the last couple of years, is we want to build what I would say is a continuum of care model. So we want to take all of the points on the board, all the programs that we offer, and try to find a way that we tie those together that's impactful for families and truly moves that needle of poverty like we're tasked to do. So the Family Development Center has been a key element in making sure that we get that done and we service these families with the needs that they have in the community. So we employ several case managers, and what they do is they will go into the home, they will work with families, and they help meet a need of an array of services that we offer. So, I tell people a lot of times we're the best kept secret in your county, because we have things out there. We've got funding, we've got programs, we've got grants, we've got things we can do to help individuals and communities. But if you don't know about us, we can't help you. And as you know, a lot of times when you're administering grant type funding programs, the money to do advertising is a struggle, because you've got to apply for some special discretionary type funding, which we apply for, but it's a minuscule amount of money. So the advertising really on the large scale that we need to do is not there, we're not able to do that as an agency. So programs like this are extremely helpful, and we're grateful for you to have us on to help us spread the word. But our family development specialists, so they go into the home and they work with folks in kind of a case management scenario, and they truly meet that need of the family. And we can stay with them through self-sufficiency, whatever that takes. So it can be a month, it can be a week, it can be 6 months, 8 months. We just stay with them until we get them to where they feel like they're able to do things on their own.
Tie that into some of the things with the homes, because you have weatherization. You also have grants working with seniors to make sure that they can maintain their independence. So there's a lot around the homes.
Absolutely. So we have, again, a vast array of programs and things that we're able to do. And I'll just kind of name them. So we've got our weatherization program. We've got a drug prevention program, and that works on preventing drug use over the span of a life, not just child, although that's our ultimately our main focus is to prevent them from ever using drugs, but also we work through generational prevention. Also, we've got our human services department where we offer like utility assistance, things like that, rental assistance, other things that we can do to help people. Then our family development, as you've mentioned, we've got a transportation program, we've got a food program where we offer food and sustainable food to different child care programs and sponsor those programs around the state. We've got the Northeast Arkansas Regional Recovery, which is our substance abuse treatment facility. We do inpatient and outpatient services there. And then we also have a housing program where we own and operate around 99 to 100 properties. And we rent those in a way, kind of, I say we put our money where our mouth is. We rent those at an affordable transition so people can step into a transition. So basically what we try to do through that continuum of care is we want to take someone who maybe is addicted to drugs or homeless, whatever their scenario is, we put them into our treatment facility. Once they complete that treatment facility, we have started what we call some chemical-free living houses. So we've got 2 men's and 2 women's here in Jonesboro, and we're working on getting a grant to start those in all 8 of our counties. So we can transition them out of our treatment facility. They can stay for up to a year in this chemical-free living. We provide food and housing. We require them to get a job after 2 weeks and then take random tests. So basically it's a sober living environment, because oftentimes what you find is people that transition out of treatment, if they transition back into the environment that put them in treatment, it's harder for them to be successful. So this is some long-term, it's kind of to try to reduce that recidivism rate back into treatment. So it's long-term sober living, basically. And then after that, we can transition them with the help of our case managers into one of the properties that we own. So currently, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Jonesboro, we rent one for about $850 a month, and everybody else rents them for about $1,900 a month. So we're truly trying to help those folks come and become self-sufficient. I say all the time, like Martin Luther King, I too have a dream, and I've been working with the Development Finance Authority. We want to make homeowners out of our clients and the customers that we serve, because if you truly want to build wealth, that's the number one way to do it in the nation, is to become a homeowner. I'd venture to say your greatest asset and mine is the home that we own. So if we're truly trying to take someone and help them get that level of self-sufficiency, in my opinion, that's how we do it. So the Arkansas Development Finance Authority is working with us to help develop a program, hopefully that we can step in and be that person that brokers that loan for someone otherwise that would not qualify.
Touch on food, nutrition. Obviously, that takes a very holistic approach, just like we're talking about. So touch on the food side of this.
You bet. So childcare is obviously a great need. Affordable childcare in all of our communities is a great need. CRDC has not been in the child care business, so we don't own and operate daycares. We've had the Head Start program and things like that, but we saw the need for affordable daycare. So what we have done is partnered with daycares all over the state. So if you're out there and you're watching this show and you want to start a daycare, you have to be sponsored to have a daycare in the state of Arkansas, at least. We're that person that wants to sponsor you. So we'll come in, we'll be your sponsor. We'll provide the nutritious meals and all of that. The vouchers to get those nutritious meals for you at no cost. So we're just trying to help maintain affordable child care in our communities.
When you look at the thread of serving others, as you alluded to, it's professional, but it's also personal for you. And so obviously being an Arkansas state representative, you have a chance to see this play out in terms of the importance of helping others. And so talk about that thread of service and why that's so important professionally as an organization, but for you personally.
I appreciate that. And honestly, it's kind of one of those things we all look back over the course of our life and see things that help shape us into the person that we are currently. So for me, I think I was 7. My dad was an Arkansas state senator, and I was 7, I believe, or 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there when he went to serve, and served for about 16 or 17 years in the legislature. And honestly, I tell people, and when I ran for office here in Northeast Arkansas, for me, service is not a new thing. I've seen service my entire life. I've seen what you can do. And my dad always said the true test of a lady or a gentleman is what you can do for those that can do nothing in return for you. And I agree with that. And I've kind of taken that to heart, for me growing up, to see the impact that he was able to make helping not only his community, but the people that lived in it was just very inspirational for me. When I got out of high school, I went to Arkansas State University, got a master's degree, and became a social worker and have done therapy. I'm a licensed therapist in the state of Arkansas. So I spent the last 16 years with a company here in Arkansas doing that type of work, just trying to help individuals be the best version of themselves. So when CRDC, when the position here became available, it allowed me, what I always say, plow with a bigger plow. It allowed me more opportunities. What we did in the mental health world was great, but we were good at one thing. This allows us to do so many other things with programs, because I noticed over the course of my time treating individuals, they come in until you can meet those needs, those basic needs. If you've got someone who doesn't have somewhere to eat or something to eat, somewhere to live, things like that, it really doesn't matter. You can be the best therapist in the world. If you can't help them meet those basic needs, you can't really help them. That's what we're able to do here. And that's why I made the transition to Crowley's Ridge Development Council. So service is not a new thing for me. It's really what I've tried to model my life after. And when the position became open here, in District 1 for the state representative, for the House of Representatives, just kind of felt like a natural transition. So threw my name in the hat and thankful to serve.
How can the community help? So when you talk about Crowley's Ridge Development Council making the difference you're making, how can the community help your efforts?
Absolutely. So, we have got wonderful communities that we service. We start as far north as Greene County and go as far south as St. Francis. We go all the way to Crittenden County, and then west all the way to Jackson County. So big service area, especially with land mass, but anything volunteer related, we always are looking for people that want to volunteer, that want to help. Obviously, with funding, there are restrictions to funding and things that we have to follow. So any kind of philanthropic, anybody that wants to make a donation to the organization, we use those as what we call gap funds. And we use those to fill gaps for people that are transitioning. There's nothing more tragic than transitioning someone almost out of poverty and they meet some sort of threshold that they can know that they're no longer eligible for service, but they need a little bit extra to get across that line. That's what we use that gap funding for. So we're able to fill in those gaps there and kind of get people to where they need to be. So those are the main ways that people can help, but we're all anything the community wants to do to be helpful through fundraisers or through volunteering, we would welcome that, of course.
Give us a success story. You don't have to name a name, but when you talk about the impact you're having, give us an illustration of what that looks like, especially for a family.
You bet. Again, I feel like that a lot of the folks that come through our program, you have a hard time finding what I'd call second chance employers. So we took a guy, and I won't tell you, he was from Central Arkansas, and I wish he could tell you his story, but he would say he was kind of what he would say the worst of the worst. And he's told this story at several different things. We've partnered with Goodwill in their TEO training program. And I actually spoke at the graduation he participated in. But we put him through our treatment facility, and then our folks in our treatment facility get placement into their program also for additional skills and training. When they graduate, we actually hired him at the agency and gave him a position here at the agency, and got him into stable housing, got him reunited with his family, so kids and spouse and all of that. So it's just seeing those things transpire. That's what it's all about. That's what we're here for. We're truly here to serve others, and when we can do that, oftentimes it doesn't work out to be as successful as his story, but when we can do that, it really makes it all worth it.
Give me one more thing that you wish everyone knew about Crowley's Ridge Development Council.
Boy, that would be hard. That'd be hard to narrow that down to one. I wish they knew everything about us, but honestly, it's just who we are. I tell everybody we're the best kept secret in an 8-county region. We have things to do, or we have programs to help people of various ages for various needs through our weatherization program. That's one of my favorite programs. And the thing about weatherization, you don't have to own the property to qualify. So if you're renting a home that needs to be updated, or it's maybe not, it's got some airflow through it or things like that, we can come in and spend $10,000 to $15,000 weatherizing that property. Saves you on your electric bill, and it's obviously an investment in the property for your landlord. So people don't realize what all we can do to help. That saves energy costs for a 15-year period. So you're talking about big savings there for the families that live in the home. So again, it's just all of the programs that we offer. We're doing the best we can to get that out there in our communities. But please call us, and anything that we can do to be helpful, we want to help. 802-7100.
Yeah, I was about to say, carry that forward into the phone number, website. Where do we go to learn more and reach out?
That's right. It's 870-802-7100. Visit us at crowlersridgedevelopmentcouncil.com, and we would love to serve you any way we can.
Well, Jeremy, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you for having us. We appreciate you very much.